Hi math friends. Today we're going to check out our skill of volume and these fractional unit cubes that we use. In our first example here, Nicole has fractional unit cubes that have a length of 1/4 inch. She uses these to build a rectangular prism. The base of the prism has 12 cubes and the prism is 6 cubes in height. How many cubes are in the prism? So one of the things here is that our base of the prism, so this is like the bottom part of it. So if I think of a rectangular prism, right? What we're actually looking at here is the base. So the bottom or the top, right? The bottom and the top are the same. So I'm going to go out and highlight this in red. So the bottom of this, it has 12 cubes. So when I think of 12, I can think of like 2 by 6 or 4 by 3. For this example, I'm going to do 4 by 3. If we do 2 by 6, we'll get the same answer. So this is going to be 4 by 3. And 2 times 6 would also be 12. So either way. We also know that the height is 6. So 6 cubes tall. 4 cubes times 3 cubes times 6 cubes. So 4 times 3 times 6. Do one at a time. 4 times 3 is 12 times 6. 12 times 6, that is one of our multiplication facts that we got to know. 12 times 6 is 72, and these are 72 cubes. What is the volume of the rectangular prism that Nicole builds? This part's a little bit trickier. So I have 1/4 inch cubes, right? So let's think of each side of this. I've got the 4, the 3, and the 6. So if I've got 4 cubes and they're 1/4 inch each, so a 1/4 inch, and I've got 4 of the cubes, right? 1/4 inch times 4. 4 is 4 over 1. So when I multiply that, 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 over 4 is the same as 1. So really this side with 4 is 1 inch long. So I'm going to multiply times the width. And I do this 3. I've got 1/4 inch cubes times 3 of them, which is really 3 over 1. Multiply straight across. I've got 3 over 4. So this is 3/4 of an inch long. And the same with 6. I've got a 1/4 inch times 6 of these. So 6 over 1. Multiply across. Before I multiply though, look, I can simplify. 4 and 6 each divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I've got 3 over 2. I'm going to put that over here. So this is 3 over 2, 3/2 inches long. So at the end, I'm going to multiply all this together. Yep. I'm going to see if there's any simplifying to do. 3 and 4, no. 3 and 2, no. And this is just 1. So I multiply straight across. I kind of disregard the 1, but 1 times anything is itself. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. So this is 9/8, and this is measured in inches. Since it's a volume, it's 9/8 inches cubed. Here's my final answer for part B. Let's check out another example with this idea. So this says determine the number of 1/6 inch cubes that can pack the prism. So this picture is my prism. I got 5 inches by 2 by 3. How many cubes fit along the 3-inch side? So if this is 3 inches and I've got 1/6 of an inch, right? So I know that 1/6 of an inch. How am I going to get there to get to my 3 inches, right? So I'm going to think of this like if I start with 3, how many sixths are in 3? So 3 over 1 becomes how many sixths? So I have to scale up here, make my equivalent fraction. So 1 times 6 would be 6. 3 times 6 is 18. So for this one, I've got 18 cubes. All right. We're going to do the same idea for part B, the 2-inch side. So 2 inches, 2 over 1 is a whole number. How many sixths are in 2? Okay. Sometimes we just kind of know it, but sometimes it helps to set it up. I'm going to rewrite that 6 because that came out poorly. All right, so we multiply 1 times 6 to get to 6. Multiply 2 times 6, and I get 12. So how many cubes fit along the 2-inch side? We got 12 cubes. Same idea for the 5-inch side. How many sixths are in 5? Well, it's got to be 5 over 1, and make their equivalent fraction. So I do times 6 again, and I have to do the same over here, times 6. Oh, we meant to leave that blank up here because we didn't know that value. 5 times 6, I'd get 30 actually. So I got 30 cubes over here. How will you find the total number of cubes? We're going to multiply each side. Yep. So we're going to go 18 times 12 times 30. Okay. Now this is where I might need to do some work. So 18 times 12. Got to multiply that out. So go ahead and do that. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 2 and then 1 is 3. Start with a 0 for place value. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Add those, and I get 216. Now I get 216 times 30. Zeros all the way with multiplying by 0. Put a 0 in for place value. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. So there's my final answer. We get 6,480 cubes. Whew. All right. That is some good work there. All right, let's check out one more example together. Determine the number of 1/8 cubes, 1/8 foot cubes that can pack a regular rectangular prism with a length of 1 1/4 feet, a width of 1 foot, and a height of 7/8 foot. All right, so there's 3 parts here. There's A, B, C. Even though it says determine the number of 1/8 cubes here, we got 3 parts. Our volume first. This is just straight up volume. So I'm going to do 1 1/4 length times width times height times 1 foot. Yeah, sometimes this gets lost that there's a 1 here. Multiplying by 1 times 7/8. So remember, I want to make these into improper fractions right here, this mixed number. I do multiply and then add. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I've got 5/4 or 5/4 times 1, 1 over 1, times 7/8. Here I'm going to try to simplify if I can first, numerator and denominator. I'm noticing 5 and 1, 5 and 8. Those won't simplify. 7 and 4, 7 and 8 won't. So I need to multiply straight across. 5 times 1 times 7, 35. And now I've got 4 times 1 times 8, 32. You could make this into a mixed number if you wanted to, but I would suggest here we just kind of leave it as is. 35 32nds. And we have feet. So this is feet cubed. You could also make it into 1 and 3/32 if you wanted to. Now this one is a little tricky. Volume of the 1/8 foot cube. So I'm picturing this cube. It's really tiny. Each side is this 1/8. So I've got 1/8 here, 1/8 here, 1/8 here. So how would I find the volume? I would do 1/8 times 1/8 times 1/8 because each side is an eighth. All right, so I would agree that 8 times 8 is something that we got to know. That's 64, but then 64 times 8, I do not have that memorized. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Show my work here. 8 times 4 is 32. That was a bad 2. There we go. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 1 is 51. So my volume of a single cube is 1/512th of a foot cubed. Just a really tiny cube. Now, how many of these can pack the rectangular prism? We're going to use our strategy that we used before. Okay, so we're going to use our 5/4. We're going to convert this into eighths because we want to know how many of these eighths are in 5/4. So I got to go from 4 to 8. I do times 2. So I'm going to do the same for 5 times 2. I get 10. So one of my sides here is 10. Keep that in mind over here on the side. I've also got 1. Now 1's kind of the easiest thing because how many eighths are in 1? Well, 1 over 1. Well, if I think about it, I can know it, but I'm also going to show my work. Times 8. To get to 8, I do times 8 up here. I'm going to also do this in brown so we're consistent. So I get 8 over here. So that's how many cubes are on that side. And my final side is the 7/8. This one I would say is also easy. To get from 8 to 8, I don't have to do anything. Multiply by 1. Multiply by 1. And that's still 7. So 7/8, there's 7 cubes on that side. All right, now I need to multiply. My suggestion here would be, I'm going to leave the 10 alone for now. 7 times 8 is 56. Let's write that a little bit neater so we see it well. And then I've got this 10 on the front. 10 times 56 is 560. Because multiplying by 10, we move the place value 1 over to the right. So my final answer here is 560 1/8 foot cubes can pack the rectangular prism. All right, we have some more examples of these for you to try. So get these in your notes, try them again, and you rock. You got this.